Let's meet our grassroots citizen panel. Joining me as she did previously in studio is Sharon Angle, president of the National Federation of Republican Assemblies. Good to see you again, Sharon.
Thank you, Rick.
Also joining me in studio from that town that's tough. He's having a tough life, ladies and gentlemen, from Laguna Beach is behavioral analyst Adam Heller. Good to see you, Adam.
Nice to be back. Thanks.
Also back in studio, holding over, as he did previously, is civil rights attorneys Leo Terrell. Leo, we got to bring you out of your shell a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm a little shy. It's my first show. Very shy.
Very shy. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are in the middle of our grassroots citizen panel. Next topic, net neutrality. The president says that we have to make the internet equal and fair and for everybody, that it shouldn't be a matter of how much you pay in terms of how much speed and how quick your connection is. Other people say, wait a minute, this is another power grab by the government getting involved with more regulation. That's how I believe it is. I'm very, very suspicious over the president saying that the government needs to regulate the internet. I see taxes coming. I see fees coming, etc. Leo Terrell, you've made it clear throughout the show you're a man of the people. Is net neutrality something that the people should oppose?
I'm on the fence on this one because I want the ability to pick and choose. I don't want government regulating the internet services as it speaks. I want choices. And when I think about the government involvement per se, I think of limited choices or no choice. And so I'm on the fence on this. I need to see more of that information fleshed out.
Leo, would you describe yourself as a libertarian or a liberal or neither?
I call myself the fair-minded civil rights attorney, and I pick issues one at a time, and I'm not going to walk the party line. So yeah. on certain issues, that's why I like Rand Paul. I don't want to be in the pocket of either party. So my name is a fair-minded civil rights attorney.
I think most Americans are what I would call the center. I'm not saying you're the center, but I would say you're in the center that sometimes they're here, sometimes they're there, depending upon the presidential candidate. Adam Heller.
The information isn't out on this one. Yesterday, a tweet came out, 140 characters, that was nothing more than slippery slope fear-mongering. And the next thing that happens is the world's going to come to an end, taxes are going to go up, and unconscious emotions take over. And we start to make decisions out of these fears rather than looking at the real facts and making a conscious decision. And most of the time, slippery slopes are not that slippery.
Well, I can appreciate what Adam is saying, Sharon Angle, but here's my problem. I do agree with what Ronald Reagan said. I'm here from the government. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Words you should be concerned about. Yes. I remember one Democrat saying that we have to pass the bill before we know what's in the bill. We may not know what's in there, but I'm like Leo. I'm suspicious. He didn't say suspicious. I'll use it. I'm concerned when the government says we're just here to help here. We're going to take this thing over, and you just go back to what you're doing.
Well, as a former lawmaker, I'm more than concerned. They are wanting to put this into the FCC, and when they do that, it's all about the money. I believe there's a tax coming. They've been looking to tax the internet. This is a way to get it done. Just look at what's happened. What happened when they started regulating your telephone or your television. Right. All of those kinds of things. It comes with a cost. It comes with taxing. Right now, we don't have that. And I think it's up to us to resist it. If we want true freedom, like Leo says we do with the internet, and it's one of the last bastions of freedom in our society.
We're making big assumptions without links, without having all the information. And yes, there could be that slope, but we don't know that. So to automatically link these things to higher taxes and more regulation and all these other things, we don't know. How about we get the information and then we make a decision?
Why would you put it under the FCC? Why not leave it the way it is? Why regulate it? Why is there this push to regulate the internet? This is a free communication area for the whole world. And even if we don't like the communication sometimes that goes on there, it's still a very free arena.
Well, how about to protect the people whose internet speed is going to slow down so that Comcast can get faster?
What happened to personal responsibility?
I agree with Sharon, who's my new best friend. The motivation.
I don't like either one of you right now.
The motivation of politicians is to try to tax, and also looking for that special interest group who's going to look at their particular interests and not the interests of others. So I want to wait and see, but I don't like the idea of government regulation of the internet. I like it.
The motivation is to take care of people that need to be taken care of and oversee.
Have I missed something? Is there an outcry from Americans across the country that their internet connection is too slow?
I haven't been yelling.
It's the potential that it will be.
Oh, okay.
So now we're back to your premise that we don't know enough, but we're fear-mongering on something that we suspect might happen. Now,
so my premise is let's get the information and make a
actually
decision.
Faster than I can use.
I like my speed, so I don't want it tampered with. I like it just as it is right now.
You know, I thought that the Russians and the Chinese were way out there when they started saying that the governments are taking over the internet. Now we have America looking at the idea. Switching gears now, we see a major political operative within the Hillary Clinton infrastructure resign from a nonprofit in the last couple of days, saying that other pro-Hillary leaning nonprofits were fear-mongering and trying to tear down his nonprofit. Now we see another liberal backing out of a second nonprofit. What this sounds to me like, again, you've been an elected official, you've been in politics. It sounds to me like, Sharon Engel, we're watching political operatives, consultants, putting their own financial interests ahead of the nation's needs.
Well, this implosion, all I can say is it couldn't happen to nicer guys. But we do find very, very much that there's a money motive in a lot of things that go on in this country. And that's why I think I look at everything with a little bit of a jaundiced eye. I just want to know where the money's coming from. And then it's a lot easier to tell what the motivation is.
Leo Terrell, we're seeing powerful people resigning from nonprofits supporting Hillary and saying that there's infighting going on.
Well, there is. There's infighting in her previous run for the White House. But the point is this. These political operatives make tremendous contacts in their nonprofit capacity. They leave under a cloud, and then they make big money in the private sector. So there's a gamemanship going on, and unfortunately it's in both parties. But this is highlighted by the Hillary campaign right now. I'm not surprised by this.
And again, they're putting their own personal needs ahead of that of the nation.
Absolutely.
Behavioral analyst Adam Heller, surprised something like this happens?
Not at all, because the most recent one, the guy was a data director who was leading this. And when I go into corporations and I train management and sales teams on persuasion and leadership, the data directors stay in their office and they crunch numbers. They don't come into those meetings. So there's nothing that they know. It's probably the wrong person for the wrong job. I think Dwight Eisenhower said it best. Leadership is nothing more than persuasion, persuading other people to do what you want and letting them think that that's what they want.
All right, well, listen, we'll continue with the panel after this when we come back. David Axelrod said the president's views on gay marriage never did evolve. He was just lying to the American people. We'll cover that topic next. Stay with me from the Edge of America. I'm Rick Amato. Welcome back, everybody. We're in the final segment of our Grassroots Citizen panel. Next topic, the president's former advisor, David Axelrod, said that President Obama never really opposed gay marriage in 2008, as if he portrayed himself as. Instead, he was saying that only because his political strategists told him to do so, and they were telling him to do so because gay marriage was so opposed in the black church, such strong opposition. Let's start with Leo Terrell. Leo, first of all, did you support President Obama in 2008?
No, I did not.
You did
I did not support him. But Axelrod is telling you the truth, exactly, because the black community has this ignorant attitude that homosexuality does not exist. So Obama was correct in not opposing it. Not that I agree with him, but it was in order to avoid alienating black voters.
Now, is it condescending to black voters? I'm going to lie to them so I can get their vote. Isn't that condescending?
It is. It is. To me, I am a strong supporter of gay rights, and I'm glad the Supreme Court this year is going to outlaw the banning of gay marriages. But my point is that Obama manipulated the African-American community, and it was successful because in California, Prop 8 lost, primarily due to black voters opposing gay marriages.
Adam Heller, are you shaking your head yes on something?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And this is all about values, what's important to you. So on the hierarchy of values, what was more important to Obama was getting elected than speaking his piece. And when he got in, he could make some changes. Clearly it worked. He got elected. We see this all the time. I had a friend whose wife wanted to date him. She said she liked basketball. As soon as they got married, she liked ballet and shopping.
That's pretty good.
You have a lot of friends like that, I think. Let's go to Sharon Engel.
Well, it's lying again, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about lying, and I was against it before I was for it.
Right.
We actually defeated a presidential candidate because he did that flip-flop. But we're also now being very critical of a journalist for lying. And why can't we be critical over our president lying to constituents? And it wasn't just the black voter he was lying to. He was lying to all of America when he was telling us where he stood on this issue.
And Leo, you say that black, if I understand you correctly, if I remember accurately, you said black voters or black folks do not believe that homosexuality exists.
Yeah, they're in denial of the existence of gays in the black community.
And within the black community.
Within the black community. They're in denial of that. They don't see black gays, black homosexuals, and that's a sad state of affairs because you lose a part of the community by doing so.
But that's not why they oppose, those within a black church oppose homosexuality. They oppose it based upon religious belief.
Religious belief, and that's why Obama did not want to alienate the black ministers who are instrumental in getting out the vote throughout the country.
All right, we're down to less than a minute. Sharon Angle, I want to get your take on this. For less than a minute, parents are having measles parties, primarily in San Francisco, no surprise there, to expose their children to measles. What's your take on that?
Well, I want to just take a little side trip here on the thimerosal that some measles vaccine, other vaccines, is suspended in for delivery. Parents have a right to object to mercury. It's a poison. But you know, we're taking a different tack in the news. We're not talking about the validity of these and what's wrong with the vaccines, if there is anything wrong. What we're talking about is having parties. So it seems like we're not taking this really as seriously as
measles
we should.
Parties, so your kid can get exposed to and then it's crazy. It's crazy, but it is San Francisco. All right, that's our panel. I want to thank Leo Terrell, civil rights attorney, debut appearance on the show. Good job, Leo. Thank you.
Boss.
Adam Heller, behavioral analyst. What's your book's name?
Book is Zero Pain Now, How to Eliminate Physical Pain on Your Own. All
right, and Sharon Angle, former U.S. Senate candidate against Harry Reid, president of the National Federation of Republican Assemblies. You have a big event coming up later this year.
That's right, August 28th, 29th, 30th, Nashville, Tennessee. Presidential Preference Convention. Please come. Please come.
All right, I want to thank each of you for being a part of our grassrootsism panel. I want to thank you.